Hey, good morning. This is Teacher Terry and one of those online adventure things. I have a lot of people that are contacting me. They're asking me about why there's not so many jobs if China's coming back online and all their schools are open. And that brings me to another conversation that was had. Now, bear in mind, this is just a conversation that came up. I thought it had some valid points, and so just something for you to think about. It's happening to me. Now, as you know, I recently, as of last month or so, I only had two classes, the same class, a week for about 6 weeks with say ABC, and that really wasn't enough for me to justify my time. I went and got two tutoring students and made twice the money. And so on the weekends I tend to tutor a little bit. Now I'd rather teach online, don't get me wrong, but you got to do what you have to do. So it got into some of my friends here in where I live also work online, and we're sitting around talking, and a lot of us work for the same companies. And it seems to be going around the same way. Now, I cannot say for sure, except what I've said in earlier videos, what say ABC and the kids done. I will say ABC is suddenly asking you to renew contracts that are expired. Mine would have expired today. Then they sent me some emails saying open up my Monday, Thursday, Tuesday, Friday, Wednesday, Saturday, my Saturday, Sunday slots, the last 2 slots of every day, that they've got this tsunami of work. Okay. Well, I did, and I went ahead and opened them up, and I'm giving them 1 week to fill all of those slots. If they're that desperate and they need teachers, okay, I'll stay. If not, I'm going to emergency leave, close them out, delete the program from my computer, and I'm really not going to give them a third chance. But that gets to the point, why are these companies suddenly, you're seeing all these new faces, which means they're new hires, and they're getting one class. Like this morning, I was woken up. I'm very close to Chinatown here, and the schools are already opened. And right away, today was my first class, and I read that first sentence, and I went, what? Because I've been with this company for 4 years. It started out in the beginning when they had a small group of people, good people, dedicated people, a strange management person, but I kind of like them. What happened was we used to get 8 to 10, 12 classes a day, 30-minute classes, and everybody was just happier than you could possibly imagine. It was beautiful. Suddenly, as most companies have done, they started hiring, and naturally what happened, besides the seniority being mixed up and the newbie, and I've got other videos and that, I won't go there, but our classes started falling. Now, here we're in a situation where the country that's recovering the most from this pandemic is China. Public schools are open, kids are back in school, parents are working again, there's a lot of money coming in right now for the most part. Where are these students? Where are they? I think in one of my other videos, I think I referred to a projection, which honestly Chinese aren't any good at projecting anything. Really seriously. And with this small company that I work for, my #1 best and favorite company I just referred to, my classes are down to maybe 10 a week instead of 10 a day, and yet there's new hires coming in. I just got my first class. What is happening in this industry? What is going on? Well, there could be several factors, but I think the companies have to also realize that they're part of the problem in this context. Many of you like myself, and I'm really pulling myself out of this rut, are getting disillusioned, frustrated, concerned, stressed, and that affects our teaching. We're feeling unwanted. We're feeling neglected. We're feeling like psychologically somebody over there saying they're too old. Let's get a pretty person. Or maybe they're just saying they're not giving the kind of class that we really want. They're not entertaining enough. Okay, maybe. Or energetic enough. Well, I have to ask you, if you're with a company, how can you expect your employees to be motivated, energetic, just putting on the most fantastic lessons if you're constantly pulling them down? If you're constantly making comments like, and recently I talked to one of my highest supervisors, and I like her very much, and she said, well, if you feel like you need other work, you're free to go find work, fill in with someone else. That told me right there that was an insult. That was uncalled for. She should never have said that to me. I've been there 4 years. But yet, newer people coming in aren't catching those problems. You see what I'm saying? It's hard to be motivated when you're seeing this same routine coming. So it appears. And in one of my videos, I said it's not the time to work online. Well, it's not. Those of you who are already online, who are doing okay, I would say hang on. Those of you who have just come into the online and you're getting just a few classes, I would tell you to find another job and move on. Because I have done the math. The vast majority of online teachers today, sitting at home, waiting on that cornucopia, would make more money per week, in many cases after taxes, working at McDonald's. That's true. There are so many jobs out there that we consider minimum wage in our local area that are actually paying more than many of the longer-term teachers are being paid online right now. And we have to consider that. Is it worth your time to sit and wait? Another thing that keeps me kind of uneasy is in this particular company, or my 2 daytime companies actually, they fail to see the benefit of having a standby teacher. Now, if you're at night, an online teacher at night, a lot of them had the dots like ABC did. You could hit yellow, you're on standby. If they need a teacher, bam, you had it because you were standing by. You said you were standing by. But when you're dealing with daytime schools, which is the sole income I'm using now, it's daytime. And there's things you do. You pay bills, you go to the doctor, you pick your kids up from school, you do this. And now remember, I'm 1 hour off from Beijing time. I'm actually 1 hour behind. Now, if they told me, hey, Teacher Terry, stand by, okay, and we'll pay you, and okay, good. Now, here was my proposal to them a long time ago. And I don't see where it would hurt them at all. I'd be willing to sit here at my computer and do some extra work, have them on, my app is on, be logged into the system, doing my other work, and they could pay me, say, there's 12 classes in the morning, $24 for morning, $48. Oh, just round it off to 50 for a day. Now I'm sitting there. What is $50 per day? It's actually 5 lessons. But they could either give that to me as a permanent standby teacher or every day a different teacher. That's fine. If a class came up, boom, Teacher Terry, can you take this class now? Yes, I can. I'm in there. They deduct, and I think it's about $2 from my base salary and add that, to it, so I still get paid for that one class, but I don't double dip into that reserve fund. In other words, if it's 50 and you get a class, and let's just say $2 per class standby time, what happens is instead of getting, let's just say 15, instead of getting 15, you get paid 13, but $2 come out of the standby to make it your 15. Everybody's happy. They haven't figured that out yet, so what they do is they put out this message, who can take this class right now? And right away, bling, 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 bling. People are in there, I can. You see, we have become slaves to their whims. And I don't think that's quite fair. Now, I'm looking right here right now, and where did I put it? Well, it looks like I'll have to go get it. Anyway, the telephones have apps. They have apps. And they say, check your app, check your app, check your app. Make sure you don't have new clients. Well, no matter where you are, you're checking your app, praying, hoping for a job, and bam, it's at 1, and it's 12:35, and you're at the shopping mall, and you're across town. Who's going to get that class? Everybody's in there, I'll take it, because there's so many people just sitting there like vultures on a carcass. And a lot of time it's what they call salaried people. It's people who are already in between classes. And there's a bonus feature in this company. The person that gets the most substitute classes can earn a bonus. It's dog eat dog. It's pitting everybody against everybody else. And only those who are already there are jumping into it. It's not fair to everyone. There needs to be a fair system. So are you a slave to the people? This is what I feel like is happening. This is what I think during these conversations. They've got every one of us sitting there with our phone that's got their app on it, and we're constantly checking an app looking for work when we probably could be working at McDonald's, making more money, interacting with more people, getting something to eat. At least you're moving around. At least you're getting out of the house. Instead of sitting here staring at this one-eyed monster praying, oh, God of online teaching, please give me another class. Please give me more classes this week, when it's totally out of our hands. We need to find out, or we need to understand what these companies are thinking. Okay, I agree. They're over-hiring, cutting everybody's wages as low as they can, not by class pay, but by classes, pulling in new people who may or may not weather it out, and they won't post who's getting the most classes. They won't be transparent about it. And if they were, that would give you a very good indication of what they're thinking. So, in one case, I have a very small company on the side that's really good. They're really cool. They're just a startup. They don't really have a lot of schools. They're just somebody I like a lot to help out when I can. They're breaking into corporate training, and they deal with little private individual schools and learning centers, and those are really great to teach. They're a lot of fun, a lot more interaction with kids. There's just not many of them. It's just a startup. It's a company that really doesn't pay me very much. I like the people, and I'm just kind of helping them out. But the other company that I've been there for 4 years, that's the one I've got my eye on. That's the one I'm concerned about. If you're going to motivate people, you've got to make them feel appreciated. Now, I hope that this made some kind of sense to everybody. I hope we're not becoming slaves to that application, slave to the frustration, slave to the stress. And how do I deal with it? Well, I'll tell you. I'm fixing to go back online right now and pull up my video game where I'm playing with over 100 different people around the world. And I've got friends in Australia, Thailand, America, Japan, Korea, even Chinese players. and we just get in there and talk and have a good time while I wait for my next class. Now see, these new people who just got hired already have classes this morning because my phone's been going off. We have to use WeChat. And I can see who's getting those classes. Mine is at 12:35. I only have one today. You see my picture? Why are they hiring new people when there's people like me? And I'm not the only one. I'm not the best. I really am not. There's some great teachers we have. But why are we sitting back while they're pulling in some new person and they're getting these classes when we're sitting here saying, hey, you're going to pay us the same thing. We've been here a long time. What's the matter with us? You know, when you ask that question, they go defensive, and that's when they start insulting you. That keeps a lot of us quiet, doesn't it? Because in the absence of transparency and honesty, they have to start shifting the blame and finding reasons, creative or not, to give you an answer why you're not getting the answer you're looking for. This teacher, Terry, it was just a conversation that came up, and it's something that was on my mind. I thought I'd share that with you. Be sure you check out your schedules, check out your apps, see what you've got. Time management. Time is valuable. And maybe we should start looking at it that way. Is our time worth more than what these companies are saying it is? It's Teacher Terry. I'll see you in the classroom.